All right, guys. Okay, so now, all right, what I want to discuss with you today, let's talk about the courses, what you're studying here in Australia. All right, and how, okay, and what you should be looking when you making these choices. Now, there are few, okay, the first, which I always say in my videos, the first and the most important thing is, in a way, every course is a good course. All right, now, but you should be able to work in your occupation. If you're not able to work in your occupation, so whenever you're looking at a course, look at an occupation. If you're not able to, if you're not able to work in your occupation, that course is not good for you. Now, I'll give you some example of those courses, which are very popular in the market at the moment. The telecom, the civil construction, where you become a draft person, or from the last 2 years, we also have a lot of, early childhood teaching. Guys, the reality is most of you think that, you will be able to get the skill assessment, and once you're going to get your skill assessment, you can apply for a EOI. Yes, you can do that. But I can tell you today, those of you thinking this pathway, you would not be able to get permanent residency in Australia. It's a bitter fact. It's a true fact. If you come to, if you come to me, I straight away tell you these are shit courses. All right. The whole purpose is because you want to get the shortcuts, and that's why you buy these courses. And when you buy these courses, wow, all right, everybody else make benefit of it, but you would be the one who would not be able to benefit of it unless and until you haven't worked able to work in this industries. Whatever course you're picking up, not going to get permanent residency. I'm telling you very straightforward and very bluntly. All right, now, okay, let's talk about, okay, also you need to see what's the testament now. The testament level, you have to get a salary of 73,150 plus super. All right, so that is, almost like 82 83,000, $82,000, plus any employer who gonna sponsor you, either it is 482, either it is 186, the employer need to shell out somewhere between 10 to $15,000. So for example, if I'm employing someone, I'm giving me a salary of 73,150, or it doesn't usually go 73,150. Hypothetically, the salary is $75,000 plus super, so that's already $85,000. Then 12 to $15,000 would be an expense on top of it. So from my perspective, that employee is cost me $100,000, and if an employee is costing me $100,000, then you should be able to, your salary before getting sponsorship should be on that level. Very frankly, it should be above, at the range of $90,000. If your salary is not in the range of $90,000, you getting sponsorship would be very, very hard. That's one thing. Second thing, lot of you go for a very, very, very cheap economical options. So I can give you, for example, cookery. Okay. Yes, you can study cookery for, like, for 2 years education. You can get it for 12 $13,000 for 2 years, or maybe you can say like six and a half or $7,000 a year. All right. Go. There's a website called Cricos. So cricos.gov.au. What is Cricos? So any Australian ed- okay, any Australian institute which provides any sort of qualifications, they need to register it under RTO, so they become registered training organizations. Now, RTO, mm, these RTOs who want to provide qualifications or education to international students, they again need to apply for another license, which is called CRICOS. That's why if you look, if you look at in your, you know, if you look in your, so every any college website, any university or any institute, any VEC sector institute which is providing qualifications to international students, they all have CRICOS number. That's why in your COE there's always a CRICOS number. Okay, so all this data, there's a government website which is cricos.gov.au. I'm gonna leave that, in the remarks, so you guys can go and look at it. All right. Now, for example, if you type in Cricos cookery and see how many colleges are there, there are thousands and thousands of colleges in Australia. So your probability to getting permanent residency goes low. Same goes with motor mechanics as well. Okay. And to be very frank to you, when you study Cert 3, Cert 4 in motor mechanic here in Australia, leading to some kind of a diploma, and you probably have, your job ready program, you do it in a year, and you probably have year and a half experience. There is no way in the world a employer gonna spend $90,000 a year on you. Employer like these, generally speaking, and I know, and I work very closely in the industry, what they do is, a mechanic who has worked in India or some other country for 4 5 years, then goes to Middle East, work there for 5 7 years, and then he gets, then that kind of a mechanic, our employer would sponsor from him. Now, after finishing 1 year of study, forget about it. You're not gonna get sponsorship. So you need to look into the courses which gives you the value. If you really want to stay here, and if you really want to see if you have any opportunity. For example, those of you're studying IT, information technology, unless and until you are not able to work in IT, and even before working in IT, unless and until you are not able to even work in a corporate sector, even that could be a call center, I don't think you have enough chances of actually working in the industry. And a lot of you already know that there are hundreds and thousands of applicants who are here on 482 visas, working for Wipro, TCS, Accenture, even many working for companies like Microsoft, Google, Facebook. They all, majorly, they're all from India. They're from other countries too, but majorly, they're all from India. And they already have 10, 10, 15 years of work experience in IT. You would never be able to beat them unless and until you are not good in what you're doing, and you won't be employed, and you won't, and just, you will never be able to. They will always beat you because they have those skill sets. They have already worked for 10 10 years in their occupation, and the employers would definitely pick them up when they have to, spend a lot of dollars to pick you up. A lot of things have significantly changed. A lot of things have significantly changed because of this. Now let me give you an example. Okay, for example, see, nursing always gonna be a good course. Now, why nursing gonna be a good course? I'll tell you why. There are, at this point of time, roughly 300,000 nurses in Australia. Okay, in any given year, we can only train roughly around 16,000 nurses in a year. And there's a reason why we can only train. And also think about this way. So a lot of nurses also, when they're getting old, or they have done, and they have, like, or they move out of the industry too. And the reason why we can only train 16,000 nurses every year, because nurses are linked with the patient beds. Depending upon the number of the patient beds, that's how the nurses get trained. So it's not like a, IT course or accounting course. All we need is a blackboard and table and chairs, and we can have as many students as we want to. It's a practical course, I'm not sure there's a plane flying, so if my voice is cutting up, I'll probably wait for 5-10 seconds just to make sure let the plane go, because we are not very far from Sydney Airport. Yeah, because we are harbor. If you guys know Sydney, like the but we are, of course, we are not in Botany Harbor. We are close to eastern side of the harbor. But yeah, okay. So do you get a gist of it? What I'm trying to put across, guys? Okay, I'll give you a very good course. Okay, now I consider construction is a very good industry, especially I can give you some courses. Look, also when you even looking there, or there are other trade courses also which are very good. For example, I still believe carpentry is very good because we have a shortage of 1 million houses which we won't be able to fulfill in next 5 7, I don't know, even 10 years. All right, so there would always be a demand, and it's a very good paying job. Now if you've been driving Uber or whatever you're doing, I'm sure it doesn't matter. Even if whatever you're doing, like when you see houses building in Australia, they're all built in wooden frames. That's all carpentry jobs. It's a very carpenters have a very wide scope. Giving you one example, tilers, bricklayers. Though I know it's a very hard job, and also you need to understand that you should be able to work. Even you should not wait till your job ready program start. You should probably be able to.
Still live.
Okay.
Back on.
All right, guys. So, okay, let me give you some examples. All right, let me give you some examples. For example, plumbing. All right, if you go and search on Crico's website, there are only 4 plumbing courses for international students all over Australia. Think about it. How little, and plumbing is a very high paying job. How little the competition would be, and there are only 4 courses available in all Australia. Do plumbing, you'll get your PR. All right. Fabrication. There are more colleges of fabrication, but still, fabrication is something I believe. There's still not too many of them because the infrastructure and to set up these courses is not that easy. That's going to be your another option as well. Anything in construction is good, generally speaking. Even painting is good as long as you can become and you can work as a painter from the day one. And also, when you're choosing your course, you should look at it as a career. You should not look your course as a pathway just to get your PR and then you're going to do something else. That's not going to be a very very smart move for you. Now, guys, this is what usually I want to say. I am more than happy to answer any of your questions if you have. Meanwhile, let me introduce. She's Tanya. All right. She works. She works with me, and she mainly looks into student admissions and student counseling. And she would love to help you. She would love to assist you whenever you guys, So if you guys make any inquiry, any stuff like that, that would be Tanya who would be looking after you. She'll help you to, you know, get your documents collected, put it through to the college or the university depending upon where you want to study, and getting you the offer letter, and then sorting you out your COE. Once that COE is sorted out, then it goes to the immigration team, and of course the immigration team looks for it after that. Okay. Now I love to answer. Okay, now if you guys want, you can ask me any questions. All right, I would love to answer your questions, and yeah, that's the best way of doing it. Okay, the question is, hi sir, I'm a student onshore. My course progress is not good. It is like 50%. Can I apply for another course, another countries? Dude, you are here already in Australia. Australia is such a nice country. Why don't you sort yourself out here itself? And once you sort it out here itself, and if you are not able to do things right here, you already invested here, you are already here. Why you want to jump to another country? I don't understand. भाई हिंदी में बोले brother. I can speak Hindi very well. I can speak Punjabi very well. I can speak Urdu very well. But the thing is, I'm in Australia, and this particular video is for students who are already in Australia. It's not for people who are overseas. Now, I really appreciate if you're listening to my video. All right, but again, and Australia is an English speaking country, and my videos, it's not just Indians or in people from Indian subcontinent are listening to me. I have clients from all across the globe, and English is that's a, English is a language which we use here in Australia. So that's why I'm speaking in English. And anyways, if you are not able to understand my level of English, then Australia is not the right country for you, because it's an English speaking country, and you would not be able to English is mandatory even for anybody to become a permanent resident or citizen here. English is mandatory unless and until you are marrying an Australian. All right. Anything else? I'm more than happy to answer you guys. Is there anything else you want to talk in relations to your in relations to? I'm as I said to you, I'm more than happy to answer you. If you want to ask me anything in relations to your onshore visa application here in Australia. All right. I'm getting a lot of nuisance comments as well. So I'm not interested in those nuisance comments. All right, guys, my time is much valuable than yours. But thank you for watching me. That really helps me out, get me a better reach. So thank you. All right. How can I get internship overseas? Being a student of economics honors in Delhi University, you would not. It would be highly unlikely for you to get an internship overseas here in Australia. So I'm specifically talking about Australia. If you want to come to Australia, probably you might would consider coming here on a student visa. Of course, if your pocket allows you. Hi sir, I do Masters of Business Information System. Should I go for graduate diploma of early childhood education after the courses or any other courses for PR pathway? Sahil, why you doing Masters of Information Systems if you don't wanna get into IT industry? And my other question is early childhood education. Why you want to study early childhood? Do you really wanna become kindergarten teacher? And I'll tell you what, if you're becoming a kindergarten teacher, it's a lovely job. Generally, this is like, 95% is the women who work in this industry. And I have no discrimination, but that's the facts of it. And of course, you will be teaching kindergarten kids, which is between basically age 3 to age 5, 5.5. And you got to clean their potties as well with them. If you're willing to do that, then this is the right course and you should be working. And do your cert 3 in childcare then. And start working in a childcare as an educator. If you think this is the right thing for you, then you should continue it. Otherwise, that's a wrong course. And even if you don't think you are able to study, if you don't think you can do IT or you can work into IT, I can give you some tips and tricks for working IT. You can Sahil, you can just pay like $50 a month, and then you can find a lot of online guys from India who will teach you 1 or 2 hours every day. Do that for 6 months. You'll be fine. You'll be able to work in IT. And if you still think that's not for you, then change your course now. Do something which is beneficial to you. That's my view on it. Okay. See, it's the best to study. Okay, what it says, it's best to study environmental management and suitable for getting PR. All right. My answer to that would be yes. There's no problem in environmental management. If you think you would be able to find work in the occupation, and you are good enough to find work in the occupation, it will be fine. it will be absolutely fine. There's no problem in it. It's a nice career pathway, but it will only be the nice career pathway. So stop thinking about it. You're gonna do some course and you're gonna get an invite. Unless you would not be able to work in the industry, you are not getting invite. There are 3 million migrants at the moment in the industry, in the country. All right, and only out of which only 120K can get PR through skill migration. So the reality is, out of 10 of you, only one will get PR in Australia. Rest 9 of you will go back to your country. Okay. एक्चुअली इंडिया में बहुत से स्टूडेंट हैं जो कि जॉब की ज़रूरत है पर उनको मिल रही नहीं है. Bro, I feel sorry for you, and that's the reason, one of the reasons, people like me and Dhurvati, we make a voice. Okay, a lot of you don't understand this, but anyways, that's all good. But this video, I will talk about that in another video, but this is, I'm specifically talking about the students who are currently in Australia, and that's the purpose of my video today. So I don't want to off track that topic, so I want to stick on to that topic. All right. Hello sir, big fan of yours, and Dhruvrati, I love you too. I'm a big fan of yours too. Thank you for support. I want In what subject can I do PhD after studying international management? There are many subjects you can do PhD after doing. What I suggest to you is, you shouldn't be doing PhD straight away. In my view, you should at least work in industry for 4 5 years. Then you should think about doing PhD. Otherwise, it would not add any value. It doesn't matter how much study you're gonna do, unless and until you haven't worked in the industry. I don't see, like, I know this trend in India is like, you do one master, you do two masters, then you straight away do your PhD. I think it's a very I don't support that idea altogether. I think you should be able to work at least 4 5 years in your industry before you even think of doing a PhD. At least you have some grassroots knowledge and something meaningful. How's about HK? See, HK is good. HK is good. There's no problem to it. Okay. If you look at it in the community support, okay, there are 4 subcategories in community support. But also remember one thing: generally, most of the Indians, or migrants, I would say, not Indians. Most of the migrants who are working in HK, they are actually not, their job duties and responsibilities are not what they are actually in community support worker job duties and responsibilities are. They are working in a very low level, so for them there's a problem. But yes, aged care is good, because we have old people, they all go in aged care, and that industry would not die because people would not stop getting old. Simple as that. And generally speaking, we Australians, we don't want to work in aged care, man. That's why you find all migrants work in aged care. But I'll also tell you one more thing, man. If you want PR in Australia, don't work in a field where all migrants are working. Where all migrants are working, those fields are the fields where we Australians don't want to work. Yes, it will make you some money, some tosh, but that's not gonna give you career, mate. And all jobs are good jobs, but honestly, those are not very respectable jobs. Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sahil. Love you, and you can always, speak to my team as well. We love to help you, but again, my answer is very blunt, my brother. Software engineer is the best course. Yes, definitely. IT is still good. As long as you can become software engineer and you can find work as a software engineer, IT is lovely, guys. IT is lovely. There's no problem to it. Okay, I'll tell you one. When I came to Australia 25 years back, I did my post graduation in IT. I worked on a, now you got a 482 visa. At that time, we used to have a 457 work visa. I was sponsored by an employer. I worked for a 457 visa. I got my 189 then. All right. After completing my 189, I've worked in IT for Telstra. I've worked in IT for Optus, and then after that, I also worked in Australian Taxation Office as a compliance officer with the federal department. And then I did my another post graduation in law, and then I'm working in this industry now from last 15 years, because this is my passion to help people. And you know yeah, it's just about my story. Okay, this is how I got here, and this is what I did. So I already walked your path, so I understand how, you know what situation you use, and I try to there is no solution to hard work. All right, I'll tell you one thing. See, it's Saturday. All right. I usually start my day 6 o'clock in the morning, and my days goes till midnight. All right. We are working still on Saturdays. You know why? Because we are working 8 or 9 o'clock till night every day. Our competition, there's no competition which can beat us. Look at the weather. See, it's such a nice sunny day. Look at, I'm not out on my boat or on my jet ski. All right, I am working. That's why, I am ahead from my competition, and I also have a very good team. They are also working with me. I can't make this all possible by myself. That's dedication. BTech is always a good course, mate. So Vipana, sorry to hear your sister's student visa got refused yesterday. Now, Vipana, is she here in Australia onshore or she's offshore? If she's here on onshore, then we can definitely go make appeal in a tribunal. And but if she's offshore, how's about you? Like, there's WhatsApp on the, number. You just DM us and we can have a chat about it, because I still need to understand few more things. What course she applied for? What's her age? What level it is, and a lot of other factors, and whether it is onshore or offshore application. But happy to have a word with you. So please answer my question. This is my third message. There a lot of messages are running out. Chef in WA launched my PR as a chef. Okay, now chef in WA. Okay, in my view, unless and until you don't have an employer to sponsor you, doesn't matter where it is, other than Tasmania, wherever you are. But again, I know a lot of people, if you go to Tasmania, and you there are not enough restaurants there. Probably, there are a few hundred restaurants, that's all. The whole population of the state is 500,000 people. But yes, if you go and work in Tasmania, then there is some opportunity. But even for brother as chef in WA, unless you don't have an employer to sponsor you, I think it's going to be very tough. To be very honest with you, that's my belief. Sir, I'm a plumber in India. I'm also a diploma plumbing, age 21. Which visa is beneficial for me qualifying PR to Australia? Okay, plumber is a okay. There's again a plane going on, so I'll be quiet for a sec. Okay, it's gone. All right, my friend. If you are a plumber in India, what I suggest to you is probably you want to look into Middle East, Dubai, Doha, and those kind of countries. That's gonna help you. Now, a plumber in India cannot come and work in Australia because it's a licensed occupation, and generally speaking, like the whole study could be like 4 to 6 years to become a master plumber here in Australia. And plumbers make a lot of money here in Australia, more than the engineers in India. They can make like one up till 1 crore rupees a year, a plumber. Yes, I'm talking because you're from India, so that's why I'm giving you crores. They can make like 150 $200,000 a year. Can you please follow me? I don't follow anybody, man. To be very honest to you. See, look at my channel. I haven't followed anybody, or I only follow Dhruv because I like the message what he has given. What is I can do after Bachelor of Science? I don't know. It seems like you are in India. No, she lives in Bhutan and she applied for masters. Okay, Bipana, happy to have a word with you. Just DM me your number, and yeah, we can have a chat. Dr. Prakash Sethi, how social work? See, social work is good. Social work is good, but a lot of times I'll tell you what. See, we really need to when you look at this occupation. So generally speaking, when you are a social worker, you are working with the challenge side of the society. That could, like, it's a very broad spectrum to it, but that could be Dr. Tripathi, Dr. Sethi. That could be, you will be dealing with homeless people. You'll be dealing with people with, mental diseases. You'll be dealing with people on the drugs and stuff like that, who had a, colorful past. And unless and until, you're not locally connected, I really find it very hard for somebody to work as a social worker. Unless you don't understand, how these kids are grown up, and how the society is. Same like in India, unless and until you don't understand how things are moving in the child, how would you go and provide social work? If you're coming from, like, for example, some good parts of the city, how would you do that? Just but yes, social work is always good. And I have some friends who are into social work. It's lovely. Hello, brother. All right, guys, that's pretty much. Now, anybody, sir, I got refusal from Australia. Is there any chance to reapply? You're gonna waste your money now. At the moment, circuit is very tight. All right. Even the students who are here in Australia, they are also facing a lot of problem. I suggest to you wait for another 6 months, or probably the next year. That would be the best option. Otherwise, you're gonna just waste your money. Thanks, Dr. City. Anything else, guys? Or we call it a day? Okay, let's call it a day, guys. And I I want to probably probably do another streaming tomorrow as well. I'll put a topic what I want to talk about it. But again, guys, it's like my I live here in Australia, and I'm at the moment really concentrating on the migrants who are here in Australia, and how I can help them, or how my message can benefit them. Meanwhile, of course, I'm originally from India, so I've always connected to India, and yes, my feelings are always and I really look into it, like how things are moving in India and stuff like that. So sometimes I do comment, but I'm not that much involved into it. And yes, sometimes my comments are very generic, but I think some of my generic comments also can pick up a lot of fire. Uh, sure, Krishna. Thank you. Love you. Might take care. All right, guys. Let's call it a day, and yeah, we'll see you again. Have a word with you again. I'll post it in advance. Maybe the message will help you. End of the day, guys, there is nothing more than hard work, and there's nothing what can beat hard work. All right. So good luck. Take care. I'll speak to you again, guys. Bye for now.